Hi guys, how you doing? This is Charlie from Track Beast. So I want to go over this next video. By the way, you like my new background? These are my two cars that I track. This is my SS1LE 218 that I run in Florida all the time. It's my Florida car. That's my daily driver in Florida, and it's also my track car. And this is my Grand Sport, which I did a little suspension mods to, and this thing's now is a Track Beast. And I run this in the Northeast here in the spring, summer, and fall. And I run this in the spring, winter, and fall. It's just too hot in the summer to run track days. So I figured, best of both worlds. So I get to run all year around with two different cars. Both of these cars are awesome. Both of these cars surprised a lot of people. So what happened was last year, I was running with regular G3s, which is a stock tire for the 1LEs. They're 220 treadwear, awesome track tires. And they're also awesome street tires, except if it's raining. They're absolutely dangerous in the rain. So when it rains, I just drive slow. And I mostly stay local or drive to the tracks and, whatnot. So I was at Sebring last year, and the Porsches, the C8s, were walking from me. And they were running at least 100 treadwear. Some of them doing 40 treadwear, full out race tires. So I got sick of them pulling away from me. I was close, but I just couldn't stick with them. So I decided to buy at the end of last year G3Rs, which are the stock tire for the ZL1LE. They're 100 treadwear, and I didn't buy them in the ZL1LE, which are 19s. I bought them in the stock SS1LE sizes, which is 285, 30, 20 in the front. And in the rear, there are 305, 30, 20s in the rear. So I ended up buying the G3Rs in stock, and then I bought a set of MRR wheels as my stock, so I could just switch them. And that's what happened. So I ended up putting them on, scrubbing them in last year, and running them this year. So it took me a little time. This is my first time out with the G3Rs. So it took me a little time to get used to them. It also took me a little time to figure out the correct tire pressures. So I started at 34 hot, didn't work, 35 hot, 36 pounds hot, and I had it went up to 38 pounds hot, and that seemed to be the sweet spot. Why I had to run such high pressures is I'm only running 2 degrees negative camber in the front and 1.5 in the rear. Our tires usually like a little more negative camber. But since I drive in the street, I didn't want to go over 2 degrees negative. So what I have to do is up the pressure so the sidewalls don't fold in. And it just makes it this stiffer tire, so less fold in. Seemed to work beautifully. So there was 8 sessions that day. I was hooked on driving. So by the third, fourth session, I realized that 38 pounds is my sweet spot. And then I started practicing with the car, getting faster and faster. Then I proceeded to go after Porsches that walked from me last year. So the tires made a huge difference. I really never realized how big of a difference they could make. So I proceeded to go after a GT4 Cayman, ass-kicking little car, 150 grand, I believe they are. I went after a GT3 911, which is, I think, 299 or 300 grand. They're up there. Don't quote me on these prices. I was just looking on the internet briefly. And I also went after a 911 Turbo, which I think is 180, 200 grand. So I went after each one of them individually, and you'll see the results, and I'll give a recap at the end. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think a lot of people and Porsches are going to be scratching their head. guys, how you doing? So you saw the video. I pretty much took all 3 cars I wanted to. Now, a lot of naysayers will say, "Oh, they pointed you by. They didn't want to ruin their $300,000 cars. They didn't want to do this." Let me tell you, Porsche guys are not pussies. They drive their cars hard. And 2 of those Porsche drivers came up to me and said, "You are a fucking beast through turn 17 and turn 1. They couldn't come near me." Well, why would a Porsche guy come up to me and say that was fucking awesome? I had a great time running with you if they were afraid of me. Now, just get a life, guys. You know, it's a little ridiculous. But I had nice guys, had a fun time. Even though we were going at it, it's still very safe. They were a little, I think, intimidated by the speed I was going through turn 1. And that's where most of them passed me by, was turn 1. And also out of turn 17, they just didn't have a chance. The torque of this motor, it seemed to be geared perfect. And how fast this car goes over bumps, because it's a big, heavy car. I don't even feel the bumps. And I see the Porsches jumping over the bumps. So I think that's why I can get through those 2 turns, because they're very bumpy turns and they're very fast turns. That's why I call this video Porsche's Worst Nightmare, an SS1LE on race tires. Like I said, I paid $31,000 pre-COVID for this car. It has got 18,000 miles. I daily drive it in Florida, and I kick ass on the track. So you can't ask for more than that. So you guys have a great day. Please subscribe and like. And the more subscription I get, the more track days I can do, the more I can teach you about, tire pressures, setting up cars, what I'm doing to the cars to make them faster, some pointers on driving, what lines to take. You can, just look at what lines I'm taking. If you have these cars, to make you go faster. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.